In Manahawkin, a few hundred showed support Monday for a school nurse who was suspended for showing up to work without a mask. Nurse Erin Pine was protesting the Stafford Township School District's mask mandate that she calls child abuse. Despite the community support, the Stafford Township School Board voted not to renew the nurse's contract for next year. Welcome back to Jersey Matters, now to Hopewell Township, where Sarah Irwin, a veteran police officer, was fired for posting on Facebook that Black Lives Matter are terrorists. And Mandy Gray, the first ever woman sergeant in Hopewell Township, was suspended and demoted for liking the post. Here is the attorney for both women, Frank Crivelli.
Sarah, thanks so much for spending time with us today to try to explain what is a strange case. Why don't we start at the beginning? Tell us what happened.
Sure. In regard to the facts, Larry, I'll go through the facts with you as far as that happened. Back in early June, subsequent to the demise of George Floyd, there were a number of protests that led to riots in the city of Trenton. The township of Hopewell had to provide mutual aid, and as a result of them providing mutual aid, they had to send officers into harm's way. Subsequent to that, Sarah Irwin, my client, patrol officer Sarah Irwin, put a post up on Facebook. The reason why the post was made was during her previous shift, which was a 12-hour shift, she received numerous telephone calls, emails, text messages from family members asking her if in fact she was safe, given the proximity of Hopewell is to the city of Trenton. She put the post up, she made the comment the way in which she did, and then thereafter, Sergeant Mandy Gray, it was a few hours after, actually showed support to her. And I guess you could say she hearted on the post. Is
like the post, yes. Yeah, I got
it. The Facebook term. And subsequent to that, there was an anonymous letter that was turned over to the township, and it led to an internal affairs investigation, which led to the discipline.
Let me get more specific about what was posted, because I've read the post, and she was talking about her children who were crying and saying they didn't want her to go to work because they were watching what was happening across the country on television. And she was taken aback that so many people were praising the Black Lives Matter and praising what was happening. And she asked people to be careful. And then she said at the bottom of a long post, Black Lives Matter are terrorists. That's the line that got her in trouble in this long post. Would you agree that even if she has a right to post that on Facebook, it was probably an unwise thing to post at the moment, given the climate in the country?
Undoubtedly, Larry, it was a difficult climate. There's no two ways about it. I'll put it to you this way, putting aside the issues that we have in regard to free speech and things of that sort, she's in the position that she's in, right or wrong, in regard to what her feelings are about the movement because of the post. So obviously the answer is yeah, nobody wants this to be brought upon them and the difficulty she's going through at this point. So
does she regrets it at this point?
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a question I've never asked her in regards to regretting it. I'll put it to you this way. She certainly doesn't want to lose her position of employment. She doesn't want her name tarnished. She's been an outstanding officer for a period of 20 years. So looking back at it in retrospect, I think if we can turn the timetable back, the answer would be, of course, yes, absolutely.
So let's move on to some things that I believe are in her favor. She does have free speech, and there are other people on national newscasts that are saying that Black Lives Matter are terrorists. It's an opinion that's out there. It's not like she was a complete outlier. What were the reasons they gave her for punishing her for making a post on her own Facebook page?
Sure. The reasons that were provided to her was that she violated the social media policy. That's what, in fact, it was. They do have a social media policy, the Township of Hopewell, and they specified that she did violate that policy. In my opinion, was there a violation? I don't believe so. But putting the best case forward for the Township of Hopewell, let's say there was a violation of the policy. It's a small infraction. And at best, it should be what we call in New Jersey a minor disciplinary action, at best.
And where is it right now? It's not a minor disciplinary action, right?
Right now, the township committee made the decision that they were going to go with the maximum penalty, which is termination from employment. Yeah,
Really? That's what you're fighting at this point?
absolutely. We're fighting termination for employment for Sarah Irwin, Patrol Officer Sarah Irwin, and Mandy Gray, who hearted on the post. She's a sergeant, 21-year veteran of the department. Again, no disciplinary actions whatsoever, not even a single internal affairs investigation ever lodged against her. She was suspended for employment for a period of 6 months and demoted from the rank of sergeant to patrol officer.
Is there a double standard here? Is there a double standard in that police officers are attacked for saying some things where others would not be attacked for attacking police officers the same way?
Larry, it's a great question. It's a difficult question. I think there's probably a lot of debate in regard to it. Police officers are public servants. I think we can all agree with that. And in certain circumstances, they are held to a higher standard. I'll be the first one to admit that. However, with that being said, just because you're a law enforcement officer and just because you raise your hand and you take the oath of office that you do, doesn't mean that you forfeit your constitutional rights and you check all of your constitutional rights at the door. So, are they held to a higher standard? The answer is yes. But is there a double standard in regards to what's going on out there? I think when you look at the way that the media portrays the Black Lives Matter movement as compared to why or how they're portraying the law enforcement officers of this country, yeah, there's undoubtedly a double standard.
If it were not that double standard, this problem wouldn't exist, probably.
I think there's a very good chance. I'll put it to you this way. If in fact a comment was made about some other controversial group, the Proud Boys, I think is one of them that has right-wing affiliations to them, I don't think we would be sitting here today. So we had a very left Democratic committee, meaning the Hopewell Township Committee, that took exception to what was made, in my opinion, because of their own political views.
Where is the case now? What's the next step, and what do you believe? Do you believe you have hope of success in this? How far are you willing to take it?
We are going to take it as far as we have to take it, Larry. We have tremendous support from the local, meaning the Hopewell Township Police Department. And that goes not just from the rank and file officers and the superior officers, that goes all the way up the chain. The action that was taken by the Hopewell Township Committee is not supported by the department at all. We have tremendous support from the New Jersey State PBA, who is backing the officers 100%, and we will take it as far as we have to. Right now, the case is at the Superior Court of New Jersey in Mercer County. We filed for what's called a de novo review of the case. And it's going to go, basically, we're going to have a new hearing in front of an independent hearing officer who is a Superior Court judge. So we're much more confident than we were in regards to the departmental hearing, just simply for the fact that this is going to be the first time that we have an independent hearing officer, meaning that Superior Court judge, hear the case. Whereas the last hearing that we had a hearing officer who was hired by the township, chosen by the township, and his services were paid for by the township.
This is a First Amendment case, so this could go to the Supreme Court.
It has the possibilities and implications of doing so. Yeah, it does. It does.
Do you think that if you were to win in a lower court, the Hopewell Township Police would take it that far?
The township committee, would they appeal it to the next level? I don't know. I don't know if they want that negative notoriety. We've received outpouring and support from around the country. And when I say around the country, I'm talking we've received as many phone calls and emails and text messages from the West Coast as we have here in New Jersey. So do they really want to push it that far? That I'm not so sure about. What everybody needs to remember is these are two officers who were fantastic at what they did. And there is absolutely no issue with their employment for 40 years combined. So, perhaps maybe it's time that somebody admits that they were wrong in this situation, meaning the township committee and the amount of punishment that they dealt out here.
Well, let's see if that happens. But as you keep moving forward with the case, let's talk again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Larry. I appreciate your time.
Frank Crivelli, attorney at the law firm Crivelli and Barbati. Next on Jersey Matters.
Right now, the boardwalk is still relatively empty, but as the summer season approaches, employers here at the Jersey Shore are facing a major issue. We'll tell you all about it next.